Oh, yeah! Live from Cafe Willoughby with your hosts Tyler Brown and Sam I Am Willoughby, Sir Richard Fistwell, and the baddest BMXers and industry heavy hitters on the planet. Let's get it on!
What is up, Cafe Willoughby fans? Oh man, we're here for our first live viewing. Tyler Brown,
Sam Willoughby. It's going down.
Not gonna lie, we're a little bit nervous on how this whole thing is gonna work. We have absolutely no idea what we're doing, and our studio is fantastic. Sam, what do you think, man?
I'm excited. I'm excited to talk BMX. We got some good guests. We got a guest in studio.
We got the coffee.
We got red cups. We got Coca-Cola. We got plants.
We got the microphone. So we got it all.
The stage is set.
The biggest thing is it gonna work, and is anybody gonna watch?
As long as it works. I mean, that's the main thing.
Yeah. So we've got everything plugged in. We're just gonna tell you right now, we're a couple rookies on this, so we have absolutely no idea. So
I know what I'm doing.
Sam does. Yeah.
I know what I'm doing.
He actually set this whole thing up. I've been sitting here the whole time just watching him do it. I haven't been doing anything at all for the last 2-3 hours.
Tyler's done nothing. It's been me. I've been doing all the heavy lifting, bunch of running around, and yeah.
Anyway, so let's see. We just kind of want to talk about first of all, first things first, why we're doing this. Why are you doing it? I guess we had nothing better to do on a Monday night.
I mean, we did the little live stream of the races last weekend in Papendale, and we got a lot of good feedback from it. We had a lot of fun doing it, and we're both big fans of, I think, podcasts and talking about the races. And obviously, I'm out of the game right now. Don't have a lot to do, and you got a bit of time in your hands and
I'm pretty much out of the game. So I mean, I'm just an old guy now. So
you like to talk about it, and it's our passion as well. So we're gonna try to make a bit of a show out of it.
Yeah. So that was kind of our whole goal. Is we kind of just stumbled upon this. We'll give you guys a little background story for those at home. We were watching the Las Vegas motocross show, and that led us into BMX talk, and we're like, oh man, we should watch the Supercross race the next day, and then we should commentate and see how it goes, and then. Come to find out, everybody seemed pretty pumped on it, so we kind of just let things keep rolling. We did the next weekend, and then here we are on a Monday night, sitting around, drinking coffee and whatever's in the red cup, and talking to you guys.
All that being said, we are looking for sponsors, so open up your wallets.
Yeah, anybody got sponsors? We don't know how to do it yet, but we're gonna put a PayPal link on here too, so you guys can just feel free to just PayPal us money. Or send us big dough. We'll start wearing your T-shirts and stuff like that.
No, we got plans to do this every Monday, and we're going to try to come up with great guests, great topics, and keep it pretty real and speak our minds, and hopefully you guys get something out of it and enjoy it. So if you like it, give us some feedback. Let us know what you want us to talk about each week, and we'll try to come up with some ideas as well.
Yeah, we got the live chat going, guys. So feel free to chat that. We got double computers. One of them's the producer one here, so I'm trying to man that, make sure everything works right, so you guys can blame me if something goes wrong. Sam's got the comments coming through. We already see some people are starting to watch. We have 57 whole viewers right now. So here's what I need each one of you guys to do. Please copy-paste the link into your social media. Share it out to all your fans so we can get those numbers up. So right now, before we go any further, copy-paste that link, go into your Facebook, your Twitter, whatever you want to do. Share this link so everybody can go. We're going to have our ladies in the back. Feel free to do the same thing. Share it right now. We got some studio guests, so go ahead. We can share that too. And what do we have in the show today, Sam? We got a pretty sweet lineup for our first ever show.
Yeah, first show is pretty stacked. So first off, I mean, we're going to start it with some controversy. We're going to jump right into the Jackal.
This is going to be great.
John Purse.
This is going to be great.
We're going to call the Jackal live. He's in Texas, I believe. We're gonna give him an old-fashioned what for on the phone and see what the Jackal's got to say. I mean, there's obviously been a bit of drama on the internet lately, and we might touch on that a bit, but we'll also touch on a bit of John's career and some of his mentality. And he loves to talk, so we want to talk to the Jackal.
The Jackal is a wild guy. One other thing, after we get on the Jackal, we actually had our buddy Sir Richard Fistwell. He called. We unfortunately missed his call. He's busy right now. Mm-hmm. He's up in Canada. I don't know. He's probably getting maple syrup out of a tree or something like that. Mm-hmm. He did leave us a voicemail though, so he's got his deal. So we're gonna make sure to check in with old Fitz and see what's going on with him.
Yeah, Dick Fistwell, Richard Fistwell. He called in. He's left it's kind of a lengthy voicemail, around 7-8 minutes, and
It's worth your time though. We'll put that out there.
He's got a lot to say. He's new to the sport, but definitely got some opinions. So we'll see what that old Dick's got to say. Sure, he would deliver.
Dick always does deliver.
Dick always delivers.
Yes.
And then after old Fitzwell, we are going to move into our in-studio guest, Quick Nick Long out of San Diego, California.
Oh man, round of applause for Nick Long. Yay! We do have a live studio audience, folks. We do have a live studio audience.
Haro Rockstar's own Quick Nick Long. He is going to come in. We're going to talk all things from broken backs to whatever else we can talk about with Nick,
whatever.
Winning, losing, partying, whatever Nick does.
Whatever Nick does.
Tattoos.
He has a tattoo?
He doesn't.
I thought he wanted to get one though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are those called? The hemi.
The Hemis?
Henna.
He got a Hemi? That thing got a Hemi? Oh my gosh, that thing's got a Hemi.
Nick's got a hemorrhoid. That's why he didn't race. He got a hemorrhoid.
After that, we're gonna jump into a little bit Nashville hype. We got Nashville coming up this weekend, so just talk about what's going on with them. So we'll do a little Nashville hype, and then we got our next call-in guest. You know this guy.
I do. We're gonna call in. We're gonna go to the dark side and call Mean Lean Anthony Dean. He's gonna be driving home from practice up in Lake Paris, so we'll give him a call. And
I think he's probably hitting bench on the way home.
He's hitting some bench, They've probably got the Supercross factory rig out there. Him and Maris in the back.
They're doing some testing.
Doing some testing.
Tire testing.
Tire testing.
Yeah.
So we'll give the Supercross team a call and see what Dino's got in store for us coming up this weekend in Nashville. Also see how his fortnight was in Europe.
And then we got some Q&A. We've been hearing some good questions from you guys. So we're going to talk about some of the questions and things that have been getting sent in. Also, we'll have it on the live thing here, so feel free to send in your questions there. We got our phones too, so these are going on too, so feel free to give us a shout on any social media. It's on the corner, Tyler Brown 316, Sam Willoughby 91, all that stuff. So feel free to send us questions now, and we'll be listening to those.
And if we someone on there's asked for a shoey, so if we get 64 shares on Facebook by 7 p.m., Nick will do a shoey.
Perfect. 64 by 7.
64 shares on Facebook.
You have 52 minutes to get it going.
So get it going and Nick will do a shoey.
Don't blow it.
All right.
So now we've kind of gone over the show lineup, what we're going to be doing today. Zolder talk. That was kind of first on the list.
So,
what a weekend, huh?
Yeah, we're going to jump right into Zolder. I mean, that was
more important, our debut. Our real debut.
Yeah,
that's where the show's at, but anyway.
Papendale was a warm-up. I feel like Zolder, we did pretty good.
We peaked. It's probably all downhill from there.
No, Zolder was obviously mixed results from the weekend before. I mean, we've seen we've seen 4 winners over 4 races in the men's, and then obviously in the women, the two girls traded wins. So
I think Smolder's on fire. Hasn't she won like 5 out of 6 Supercross main events? Because she did those and then what you had last year to finish out the year last year.
Yeah.
So I think she's on 5 out of 6.
Yeah, she got on a bit of a hot streak after the Olympics there, and probably disappointed not to get a medal after medaling in London. And
for sure
came out in Papendale and Zolder and delivered. But in saying that, like they said on the broadcast, they're 2 tracks that are pretty familiar for her, being Papendale, her home track, and then Zolder 4 hours down the road.
Yeah.
So I think going to Argentina next in September and Rock Hill with the Worlds against the American girls, it's going to be a little tougher, but she's for sure in form.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I think the women, there was a little bit less going on. We're missing some key players there. We had the Beast. She was missing out.
The Beast.
Yeah.
So the Beast will be back this weekend in old Trashville, and then
it was Cashville.
Cashville,
Trashville, tomato.
The heartland of America.
Oh yeah. But on the men's side of things, we saw I think maybe with this different format, you kind of saw a little bit of moving and shaking around. Guys kind of getting used to it.
Mm-hmm.
Back-to-back weekends. Some guys were really able to perform. I think Tori made all 4 mains, right?
Tori was the only guy to make all 4 mains.
Yeah,
so.
He was riding really impressive because he was the dude. No matter where he's at, he was just pushing it in there.
Yeah.
And one thing I thought was interesting is he was getting in gate 8 in Zolder, which was primarily the riders were doing good from the inside, and he just jumped on that outside, stayed away from all the contact on the inside, and it surprisingly paid off better than I was going to expect. I was going to think he was going to have a hard time just being on the outside.
Yeah.
And I know you kind of talked about how important that lane 1 is at that track, but Tori really impressed me how aggressive he was being out there.
Yeah, no, he definitely made things work from 8. I mean, that's a tough strategy to make work, and I think the hard thing, coming from 8, it's going to be hard to win races from out there, but for sure you can pick some gaps and push your way through the mains like Tory did, and he was running, top threes every lap from out there.
Yeah.
I think Corbin was running really good in Zolder all weekend and just kind of shanked it when it come to the mains.
He seemed to just struggle in the final a little bit. In day one, he had that lane 2, so he kind of had the guys on either side. To be honest, I'm sorry, that was day 1. He had lane 2.
Mm-hmm.
On the second day, I actually called him for the win. He had gate 1. He had a little bit of open lane space. I thought he was going to be the guy to take the win, and kind of like you said, he just kind of blew his start, wheeled a little bit down the hill, and got past on the outside.
Maybe Tory and Corbin should switch tactics. Tory go inside at the final,
Little
Corbin
flip-flop?
go outside in the final.
Oh, Coach Willoughby giving a little insight. So if you guys are listening in there,
Maybe then they could have the best of both worlds.
maybe they could. Maybe they could. We might be seeing Richard Fitzwell sooner than we thought. You guys got a little sneak peek there. What about Poppendall? You had your boy that you were impressed. Kind of who took almost took the win on day
Davo.
1. Yeah.
Oh, Davo Vandenberg. He was on fire out there, the big fella, wasn't he? He's got a bit of gas under him. And
I haven't personally ever met the guy, so I don't really know him too much.
I haven't met him either, but
Okay.
I like him.
You like him?
Yeah. He's got the Dutch sleeve on. He's the Dutch champ right now, and he rode really good in Papendal and even in Zolder. Day 1, he was right there with Connor down the first straight and just kind of on the outside there in lane 3. So look for big things out of Dave coming up in Nashville. I've seen him out there on Instagram. He's taking photos. He's very excited to be able to get a few pedals in this weekend. The big fella.
That's what we got to get in.
Richard Fitzwell touches on that.
Does he
later in the show?
Does he? Well, that's true.
Yeah.
He called your phone, right?
He did.
He did. Okay.
So.
I haven't ever talked to him. I mean, I met him just that one time we were commentating. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's kind of friends with Sam. So they talk a little bit more than we do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Who else impressed you out there, man?
Well, I was pretty impressed in Zolder with Tremenez. I thought he rode really good. Obviously on the podium day 1. Day 2 got stuck outside in the semi. I think he made a mistake in the quarter, which put him in lane 8 in the semi. And that track just didn't allow enough room for his skills to kind of make up the ground. But Tremenez is super talented.
He's kind of that silent killer, right? He doesn't have a big presence. I mean, but when he's there, he's always a threat, and he's always trying to do something to make happen.
Yeah. He's since I've been kind of out of the racing scene a bit, as far as racing myself, I watch more and more on the internet, and just seeing some of the stuff he does in practice on some of those European tracks he's amazing and in great shape. Really athletic looking guy. And, I think he trains with Nick's guy now, Pickard. So
does he? Does he?
Yeah.
You comment on that?
I'll come in.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I think he's one of those dudes though. Wherever he shows up, he doesn't make a lot of noise. He just kind of goes in and gets the job done.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because he's Latvian and he's very, very quiet guy,
Yeah. I mean,
I'm taking home and he's moving back to Latvia to train for Olympics.
that's what Evo said.
That's what Coach Evo said. He's moving him back to the Olympics.
Evo's going to take him home back to Latvia, train for Olympics. So
Can't wait for that. 2020. Watch out. He's going back now.
Yeah. And then I think obviously you gotta talk about Connor Fields. He won day 1 and in pretty convincing fashion. Was pretty dominant all day, and then obviously put it together lane 1 in the final and rode a clean lap.
Those Chase boys are really they're going fast out there. I mean,
For sure.
Joris took a win in Poppendal. Connor took a win there. We do kind of have a new pro team though that kind of could rival the Chase boys.
Bill Ryan, he's stacked.
Flying Bill Ryan.
Bill Ryan's loaded the gun.
He did.
He's like the shooter up in the trees, and he's just sniping them, and he's like, take Dino, I'll take Maris. See you later.
But out of nowhere comes arguably one of the top dog pro teams.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now with Anthony Dean and Maris, I mean, you have double gold medalist Maris Stromberg now, both riding Supercross.
Yeah.
I think Supercross might be the next one up. They could try to do something for those Chase boys.
I'll give it to Bill. Those bikes look awesome. Anthony's been riding a few different colors all year, and but him and Maris put up some pictures of their bikes, and I think those carbon bikes look really cool. So.
I like one that Maris has. It's got no paint on it. It's just the carbon black.
Yeah, that looks sweet.
I think that always looks good. But I mean, Chase guys are looking good. I'm excited to see what the Supercross guys do.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the quick rundown of all that. Let's see, Coca-Cola Coffee. We got people starting to roll in here. 111 people views. Do we have 64 shares yet? I don't know.
This is not the rape dungeon.
I might have
This is
actually
the studio.
I was in New Mexico last weekend. I think I stayed right across the street from the rape dungeon. Actually,
I'm sure there is a dungeon in New Mexico.
there was a dungeon. I think I was staying there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and then, I mean, day 2, obviously, Twan Van Gent got the win on there in day 2 in Zolder. So he was, Twan's, he's one of those guys that he's a little bit up and down, but when he puts it together, he's so explosive. And
The guy's a beast, though. Like, he's like an amateur power lifter for fun. He was putting a video up on his social media of him, like, deadlifting in a competition, like 270 kilos or something like that. So
and for his weight, I mean, he probably weighs 75 kilos dripping wet. So
he's just a little ball of muscle there. So running probably 165 cranks and big
and
gear.
I think that's part of the reason why he is a bit inconsistent at times, because of the setup that he runs and the way he starts. He leans back really far. He's got short cranks on, big gears, and so when he gets it, and you're not going to catch him. But when he misses, he misses because it's a big load to pull, you know. As Fitzwell would say, it's a big load to blow, you know, and it's tough.
That is something that Fitzwell would say. And let's while we're talking about Zolder and Supercross, we can talk a little bit about setup, because we're seeing a lot of like setups kind of changing as Supercross goes more and more and more. You've seen more Supercross tracks. What are some of the differences in setups that you're starting to see with those bigger tracks? Yeah,
I mean, everyone, when the Supercross first came, there was the random start, and everyone's like, put your gears down, we've got to be reactive. And it's gone the complete 180. You know, people are picking up on the fact that, you know, bigger gears, bigger rollouts, you know, you keep the engine moving, same as what's happened in the velodrome world. Those guys have lower cadence, more power, you know, you travel a further distance with less effort. So that seems to be the trend right now. The guys are running big gears. And
what about bikes? I've noticed like longer bikes a little bit. Some of the guys run really long bikes. You have the GB team; those guys are on massive bikes. Yeah, they are, and I think they've figured something out there. You know, they got long bikes and they get down the hill good. They get around the track good. And I honestly don't know what the science is behind it, but I mean, it makes sense. The more speed, the more, you know, room you've got to move on the bike, the smoother the ride is. Yeah, for sure.
It's, you know, it's like, if you look at it on extreme angles, it's like running a 16-inch and then going to your 20-inch bike and a 21 top tube or whatever it is. It's going to feel a lot more relaxed to ride. And
do you see guys going forward? Do you see 2 setups? Do you see guys having more like a traditional bike setup and a Supercross setup? Maybe even 2 bikes or just 2 different setups?
I think they would, but I think the problem is that the regular's phasing out so much. Like, they only race a regular track 3 times a year probably, so there's really no...
I guess here in the USA we have that a little bit more, but now that we're having like kind of a Supercross series, you know, we do see Supercrossing a little bit more.
Yeah, I know. I always like to run a lower front end on a Supercross hill and then go back and put my bars up a bit higher when I went to a regular track. That was just
me. Now, why did you do that? What was your reason?
I just felt that I could get over the front more down the hill, and it was the higher the speed, the more I could, you know, push down across jumps. But then you went back to a flat hill with that low front end, and it was like horrible. It was like trying to dig out of a hole. Yeah. So.
Fair enough.
Bigger, higher bars stood you up a bit more. But then there's, you know, different strokes for different folks, you know? I mean, like...
Amen, brother. Amen.
You look at someone like Joris, his front end's super high, and then you look at someone like Liam, and his top tube's 28 inches long. And
just running her long and low.
I mean, he's got the bars upside down. They're touching the forks and...
So let's get into our first guest that we're going to have on the show, guys. I'm super excited to talk about this dude. Should we do the video intro, or should we hype him up a little bit?
Let's talk a little bit about the Jackal.
The Jackal, John Purse. This dude,
Conroe, Texas.
Been there, done it all, seen it all. What do you know about the Jackal? You guys got a little red line background. You're kind of like cousins.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't spent a lot of time with the Jackal because he was kind of... When I came over here, the Jackal was starting his vet pro career.
Okay. Okay.
On GHP, but I mean, I know the Jackal a little bit from conversation here and there, and he's a different guy. He's got a different approach, but don't take this. I don't want to say I'm attracted. I know what the word is. Appealed to those kind of different approaches.
You're attracted to the Jackal. Just say it. It's okay.
Jackal.
This is really weird. This just got weird all of a sudden.
I'm attracted to the Jackal.
Oh my gosh. Is it the red hair?
Yeah, it's the red hair.
Okay, perfect. Fair enough.
No, but the Jackal...
Elise, you got to dye your hair red a little bit.
The thing I always respected about the Jackal and the stories that you hear was that he had his way, and it was unorthodox. If you hear the stories, you know, wearing his helmet in the elevator back at the hotel and driving out from the track with his helmet on and all these little things that the Jackal did, but it worked for him. I mean, he's the 3rd most winningest rider ever in USA BMX history. So he won 25 races in 1 year, and Those are pretty amazing stats. So, and I mean, he made good money out of the sport and was a top guy for a lot of years. So he had his ways, and man, all the power to him.
Now, on the other side of it, there has been a little bit of controversy surrounding the Jackal today, and I think that's what we want to hear about from him a little bit on his side, touch on his side. Jackal, what's going on and why? In case you guys maybe were under a blanket on the internet the last week, that was kind of a fairly big thing inside of the industry. Is he chose to speak about a few individuals, and we're going to get into that in a few and just kind of let the Jackal talk about it. But we figured, heck, first show in Cafe Willoughby, why not get the guns blazing, We're
going to start with a bang straight out of Texas. We're going to get the 6 shooters firing with the Jackal. And, I can't say I don't really even know what the argument's fully about.
I have no idea myself, but I think we're going to find out.
He was having a go at Jay Rich, and I'm not... We're going to ask the Jackal what it's about, because I think we both agree Jay Rich is a good guy as well. And
we might have to give Jay Rich a call and just give his opportunity to rebuttal on the situation.
Honestly, I went to Facebook, and it was just out of left field. It was like, where the fuck did that come from? Like, they were just going off. So
yeah,
we'll see what the Jackal's got to say about that.
Yeah, we will. So should we just?
So we got a little intro video, give you guys a little insight into the life of the Jackal, and then we're gonna get him on the old dog and bone.
All right, let's play that intro video. Here you go.
This is round 3, AA Pro. They are set. Chris Schoonover just eyeing that green light. It is off, and they are away.
And going to the front of the pack is Steve Veltman. Oh, he gets a little weird.
Steve Veltman almost flying off the bike there. It looks like he lost his seat. He is done. That ruins his chances, so that really opens things up. And John Purse, Mr. Johnny on the spot, goes to front.
John Purse, Greg Romero, and Dale Holmes, 1, 2, and 3, going over the quads. Purse has got a good contention for the national #1 pro. This is going to help him.
John Purse also looking good for the overall here at Cold Canyon. He is riding away with round number 3. Romero trying to reel him in. Not going to happen. It is going to be John Purse at the line.
Followed by Romero.
All right, so we just saw the Jackal just winning a AA main on what looked to be Phoenix with about 47 straightaways.
It's Cold Canyon.
Oh, it's Cold Canyon.
Cold Canyon.
I remember that track. That track was awesome. No, you wouldn't. You were probably 3 years old when that track was going on.
I was.
All right, let's get the Jackal on the phone. Give him a ring.
All right. Jackal.
Coming live.
Dialing.
Hopefully he answers. Otherwise, we're blowing it.
Morning, guys.
Jackal, you're on the air.
How you doing, man?
We're doing good. How are you?
Oh, just fine. Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, thanks for joining us. We've been kind of doing a little intro on you, kind of talking about your story a little bit. And we just, we're going to kind of go into a few things. Number one, I think one thing that you were always kind of known of in BMX is kind of the principle of the AA class, right?
Yeah, that's what some people could say.
Yeah, you always kind of... So I was a rookie pro. I'm going to tell you guys a little story about all of us rookies when we first turned pro. We always made the joke of Sam never got to experience this. Oh, did you get jackaled? And me personally, it was Colorado, my hometown where I'm from. I was winning what would have been my first ever AA main event win. Coming into the last turn, thinking I had it. I got jackaled.
You got jackaled?
I got sent over the turn, punted. Bubba high-load both of us and ended up going for the win and still winning. And I went from first to last. So that was...
Where was that?
It was in Colorado, Tacona.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got jackaled. Jackal, is that something you always had fun, man? Did you always have fun kind of with those guys or with the rookies kind of getting them in?
Well, I mean, I don't think it was on purpose. It just... I've always been known for those type of passes or whatnot. It never really was personal. It was always me looking in front of you, and sometimes I didn't even know who it was. It just was where I needed to be and where I was going. And but it technically wasn't on purpose. And I was thinking about that today. I was like, man, I wonder if I had done anything to Tyler back in the day. So that was.
It's all right, man. It's all right. I was a rookie. I took it in stride.
Ready for it.
Just taught me how to close my line in the last turn a little bit better, you know?
Yeah. Like I said, it never really was on purpose.
Nice, Jackal. So
Sorry about that one.
Oh, that's all right, man. That's all right.
we gave you a little bit of a hype up before we came into the interview. We showed a video of you winning in Coal Canyon. I think it was '97 Fall Nationals, and I mean, you're the third winningest pro ever. You've got the record for the most wins in a season. I think you won 25 wins in a season. You're a pretty blue collar guy from Texas. I mean, you know, no fancy stuff, just grit and hard work throughout your career, from what I've been told and what you see with the videos here and there. Do you think that some of the pros today could learn from an old-fashioned Jackal boot camp down in Conroe?
You could pretty much. I mean, you know, I have pretty broad background, just from, you know, starting racing when I was 8 years old, and, you know, turning pro right out of high school. So it was really kind of, at the same time, working, you know, running a business actually early on in my life, to be able to have the time to focus on training and traveling. So it was just a little bit different situation than most have. It was just more, like you said, you put it pretty correctly about being blue collar. It's just, it was just a way that I did it. I didn't move out west to California. I just kind of stayed centrally located in Texas, and people know the story about that. And I just put my nose down, and we just did our own thing.
Nice.
Nice house, by the way.
Yeah, I was always intrigued by your approach. You know, you had your ways, and you hear some pretty interesting stories. You know, things like wearing your helmet in the car on the way home from the track and in the elevator. And were they things that came from like I was pretty routine based when I raced and a bit OCD, and were they OCD things, or were they more just like psych out tactics, or why'd you do some of those things?
They were just kind of like out of nowhere, you know. I kind of had a serious side to me, but then at the same token, I kind of was the shy guy that really wasn't the mean guy. I mean, I was able to pretty much flip the switch, so to speak, and get into race mode, but then kind of come back. But it was really more of being taunted. I mean, the whole thing about, you know, the helmet in the car and goggles was from my old teammate Matt Hayden. Matt Hayden was always Jacqueline, because even when everybody would finish the race, they take the jersey off, and in between races, I mean, I'm just not going to put all that stuff back on. I'm just going to stay, you know, race ready. And so it was always them kind of messing with me, and then I would just kind of go off on left field and say, okay, I'm going to go from the car to the hotel, you know, all dressed up. And then one time in Vegas, I think it was kind of a pinnacle. He was messing with me. We went to a photo shoot in Vegas, and I did had a blackjack all dressed to the T, helmet, goggles, the whole nine. It was pretty interesting.
Nice, Jackal. I mean,
you got a sprint story. Let's go into that one.
Tony Donaldson was a photographer. I'm sorry, but he was a photographer, so he was in on it too, just to kind of create a little bit of drama with it, just to be fun, you know.
Yep.
My whole thing was, you know, everybody thought I was so serious, which I was, and I kind of got a bad rap for what people saw maybe when I was in race mode, thinking I was super serious. But on the flip side, I was pretty down to earth, humble guy, and I just kind of did things like that just to kind of show a different side of me.
Yep. No, fair enough. Now I'm going to move on to, I mean, there's probably a lot of listeners out there that don't know that you were actually for some time Kyle Bennett's stepdad, and if you want to call it that. You were you know, dating his mum Danelle, and spent a lot of time around Kyle, and Sean Dwight actually told me a story about, and you can correct if this story is true or false, but he told me a story one day that you were out doing your sprints, and you were sprinting way down the road, 400 meters or something, and Sean came up and with Kyle, and he was like, what are you doing that for? You know, that's useless. And you kind of put it to him like, well, show me, you know, race me, and if you can beat me, then show me that there's a better way. And I think that's a pretty cool story. Is that true? And then you and Sean lined up and raced, and then sat down and had a discussion about training.
Yeah, we had a little bit of discussion. I think you're speaking when he was training Kyle, and you actually wear a 4316 red sandals, man. It was kind of embarrassing. So I was like, you know what? I'm pretty optimistic and open minded. I said, well, you kind of got something there, and he chatted a little bit. But you know, my whole deal with Sean, one person training two guys. So I just I was like, I listened to what they had to say, and we did a little bit of some rides every once in a while and respected everything they did. But it was pretty interesting when he, like I said, put it to me in the front row with 43.
Yeah. I just thought that was a cool. So I thought it spoke volumes for you as well. You know, you were on top of your game at that point, and someone, you know, some coach from Australia comes in and he races you in a sprint race, and you're humble enough to sort of say, okay, fair enough, you beat me. What's your philosophy? And you know, guys at your level at that point when you're at the top of your game, you know, sometimes you don't want to listen or you don't want to learn. So I can relate to that, and I think that was a pretty cool little story.
Yeah, it was. You know, the main thing when you're a rider is to keep an open mind, because if you're closed-minded, you just won't allow the new techniques or the new words of wisdom to come in, and if you do that, you're just kind of blocking the flow. So I was always very open-minded.
Fair enough. So I think it's time to kind of get into the skin and bones of what we're here for, Jackal. We noticed that there's been a little bit of internet drama going on this week. Can you give us a little insight of what's going on, my man?
Well, I mean, it was kind of, you know, it's odd. I mean, I'm in the shadows. I kind of watch, and I've kind of watched the evolution of BMX. You know, my last season was the end of 6 as an elite, and last in Vet Pro was in 2011. So, I mean, I pay attention, and I respect everybody, and, you know, congratulations to everybody that's really been involved in the new generation of BMX, the next level, Olympic level. But at the same time, I have the history of these individuals, of what their personalities really like, and what the public doesn't see. And that kind of weighs on me.
Mm-hmm.
At times when I see a portrayal in a certain way, and then comments made about certain things about supercross racing and Olympic racing that's really contradictory to what they're actually talking about. I mean, you're having a problem with a big hill, you're having a problem with time trials, but yet the Olympics is really setting the stage for what you're doing currently. So I have a hard time listening to that type of stuff, and that's where I kind of came from. I just kind of had enough, you know, of what I was seeing. And, you know, it was never really about a manual. It never was about a manual. It was about a portrayal of something you're not. You are, but you're not. There's a piece missing there. And that's what I was getting at, and that was what I was trying to explain, and it just got turned around and twisted to the point where I was talking about concepts of widgets, and it just got a little bit silly. And so I parked it and pieced out. And the people that really knew the true me and the true side of what I was saying, that's all I was really speaking to. Had a couple people that really spoke on my behalf, and it was nice to hear. But
what is that true meaning? Kind of fill us in on that side, because maybe a lot of people don't know and don't understand, and because it did get definitely blown way up. I mean, I saw a thread where there was like 300 comments, and I couldn't even get into it. So, what is that inside meeting that maybe people don't know?
Well, it was just, you know, it never was meant to kind of blow. I was just like, I had enough. I mean, I'm very quiet, as you know, on social media. I kind of do my thing. I watch. I speak when I need to speak, and I defend myself when I need to defend myself. And that gets turned out to being John is arrogant, and that's not the case. It's like you want to challenge me with a comment about Christoph, and then I'm just going to tell you the facts. I'm not being arrogant. I'm just going to recite the facts. So the people that really, really, truly know me, they know that I'm very, very humble and very grateful for everything that I've done. And you're really not going to hear me total myself for the things that I've done or the things that I've been involved with people. But my deal was, okay, Jason Richardson, you're a PhD. I respect that. Never said anything about that. I've been in person with you. I've told you congratulations for everything. Same with Dale Holmes. Dale Holmes, you're doing a great thing. Hey, man, I remember standing in Oldsmar parking lot like 2 years ago and saying, hey, man, really appreciate and respect what you're doing. I think, you know, maybe with your programs, you might be, you know, showing a new person that never can have an idea or a picture of BMX, or maybe you've never been involved with BMX. Maybe that person goes on to become, you know, a medalist at some point down the line, because that's just the world we live in. to be a principal. I'm just like, hey guys, come on. We have a very sensitive sport. Okay, it's evolving. It's going to another level. We're in a sensitive society. Everything's changing. Social media, how everything's perceived. Everybody gets bent out of shape. But if you really just go to facts, I mean, my deal was, you do not know what it feels like to win at the, in my opinion, what the top level is. We're talking about our era. We're talking about the 90s, early 2000s. You know, our whole goals back in those days was to attain the highest level, which was UCI elite men.
But don't those guys have, both of them have world championships?
I never said he didn't have world championships. I never said Dale didn't win the world. He won it twice, you know. But everybody can also say, yeah, Cruiser was a medal class. Yes, it was. So be it. It wasn't the same as 20-inch. Not everybody was on a Cruiser. Gary Nelson wasn't on a Cruiser. Danny Nelson wasn't on a Cruiser. I wasn't on a Cruiser. People chose to do Cruiser. That's cool. But if you really think about it, and the facts are, a lot of people had that in their contract for big paydays. I'm not saying that that's all they did it for, but the facts say, if you were to go to the contract and say, hey, it's Cruiser, and a lot of guys did. I was really more focused on 20-inch.
Now, just to play devil's advocate here a little bit, is if you take a guy like Jason Richardson, and he does have, like you said, he may not have the 20-inch title, but he's won a lot of big races. He's won AA. I mean, he's won the World on 24. He's got some big wins under his belt, and he goes to school and he gets his degree in what he's talking about. I mean, that's kind of good backing for somebody to do what he's doing. And is it something that you don't agree with, or I mean, because kind of he does have what he does have the stuff that he's talking about. He's got his degree. He's kind of been there and done that in the racing world, more so than any other sports psychologist in the world probably has. So why is it that he's not fit to speak on that subject?
I never. Let me correct you. I never thought this might be another elbow with Berm. I've never said that he wasn't fit. He has a PhD. I never. There was the credibility in PhDs. That's not what it was about. It wasn't about a manual. It was about self-portrayal. My issue, and I'm not gloating, and I'm not being arrogant, but don't portray that you know how it feels like, or can teach you how to do it at that level. There's that one missing element, and that was what it was about. And it wasn't about I did it and you didn't do it. You did it on Cruiser. I didn't do it on Cruiser. Dale did it twice. I did it once.
But do you think for his manual, for a $35 manual, he's probably not targeting the elite men class? It's probably more your amateurs that are trying to look toward maybe get from that moto to the semi or the main, or maybe something like that. So he's not necessarily catering it towards the elite men class. It's more so just a general guideline to help a lot of riders.
Well, you're exactly right. And like I said before, when I first started talking, before we got into the subject, it was not about the manual. Absolutely not about the manual.
Yeah.
My comments, if you look at the thread early on, was like, what are you guys doing? It wasn't, hey, Jason, you're right. No, it wasn't about a manual. I think he's very, very fit to ride a manual. The portrayal of, and just the persona side is what I had an issue with. You know, do not portray that you know everything, because you don't. And I'm not a PhD, but you know what? I know what it feels like to win the UCI Elite Men's World Title. And I'm not gloating. You can't say that you understand how to teach somebody that if you've never done it. You have the concept, but you can support somebody, but to feel that, the gold medal mindset, that's a big word, man. And if you've noticed, the titles changed of the manual or whatnot, and I applaud that. I'm not saying you had to change the title, but if what I said wasn't so important, then there wouldn't be a change of title out there, and maybe there's been a big talk about maybe ways of going about it. It was just more of, hey man, I know these two guys from back in the day, and I would one is doing camps. That's when Dale, he's doing his camps. That's fine. I've applauded him for that. Jason's going to the races. He's doing the psychology side, PhD, manual. That's not what it's about. It's like, don't be hypocritical, guys. You're riding on the coattails of the Olympics. That may be a strong way. You're riding the momentum of the Olympics, the momentum of UCI and the World Cups, but yet you don't agree with what it actually is. You don't agree with the Olympics. You don't agree with Supercross. You don't agree with the hill, but yet you're involved in the evolution. So my thing is, like, if you're going to be who you're going to be, why don't you just be exactly who you are, not kind of going both sides. And I know there's arguments that have been brought up about these different topics, but it just, I know the history. I know the history where, guys are kidding around, people are belittling people. I've never been that type of person. It's just, it was always the bra, jokester times, and I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate just kind of the history of what was going on, and then I just kind of had a time where I said, hey guys, what are you guys doing? So it wasn't about a manual, guys. It was not about $34.95. I didn't know how much the thing cost.
Yeah.
It was just more about self-portrayal or portrayal of your professional program in regards to what you truly believe.
Yeah. So you're just speaking from, I guess, someone that's been there, done that, and just you're kind of looking for a bit of respect in the fact that don't claim you haven't done something, that you've done something that you haven't, or is that the gist of it, or?
No, it wasn't about that. It was about, it's more about the other, say, podcasts and the other comments, the other things that how negative you are about aspects of the sport as we are today. And everybody's, that happened 20 years ago. Well, Jason's main happened 23 years ago.
Yeah.
Everybody's the first person to say, nobody cares. Really?
So you're sort of saying pick a side, if do you want the sport to be like the old, but then you want to benefit from how it is now as well?
You hit exactly.
Okay.
I mean, you just hit the nail on the head. It was just, I'm not the one that goes both ways. I'm one way. I'm the honest way. I am what I am. I'm not going to be somebody. I'm not going to be ideas and elements about the sport that it is. Was kind of right in the mix when the older generation was leaving the sport, and I welcomed all of that. I welcomed the downhill series. I was like, man, this is great. I started racing in 1981 when they raked the berms, so that the berms didn't hard pack. We had knobby tires because we needed them.
Yep.
I've been all the way through the elements. It took me a while to get used to clip pedals, but I dealt with it. Yes, I had a viewpoint about it, but I dealt with it and I got on with it. So I was in that adjustment period of the sport, and for somebody or anybody to say that Supercross is not important in BMX or the Olympics are not important in BMX, I really have a hard time believing that's valid. Because
So you just
we have two back.
You got to move with the times, basically.
Go ahead.
You got to move with the times, and everything has to move forward and progress, and you I guess you got to either on the ship or you're not, is what you're saying.
Well, that's true. I mean, it was. I evolved with the sport. I wasn't one that was the complainer about it. I was like, oh, this is cool. This is like 1981 downhill series, knobby tires back on the bike. You know what I mean? It's like, but then everybody figured that out. It went from that to the tracks kind of being a little bit more hard pack, and everybody's back on whatever tires, and then people started even clipping in on downhill. It was evolving as we went, and so was Supercross. I raced Supercross. My last race was in Frejus in 2006. It's evolved into something completely different. Just the availability of and just taking it to back in the day. I was on the Dutch team.
One more here because we got to jump on. We got Nick in studio to jump. We got a little story that you used to stare at pennies. Why'd you?
Station, man. It's staring at pennies, going into a trick with your forearm and your thumb and forefinger with a needle and string. There's all kinds of cool little tricks.
It's also called the shocker, John.
What's that?
They call the thumb and four fingers the shocker.
Oh, there you go. Let me know about it.
All right, Jackal, my man, we appreciate your time. We got to get rocking here, so thanks for the insight, and you have a good one in Texas, man. Enjoy your day.
All right, no problem, guys. My last comment is I think time trials were good. All I can say about time trials is a lot of different people, so I think time trials should stay because it seats the motos. It's what's common in other sports and makes it relative, but that's my 2 cents. Thank you, guys. I really, really appreciate you guys coming on, and like I said, I just want to say congratulations to Jason and Dale. Don't take it personally. It was just about self-portrayal or professional portrayal. And I think what you guys are doing is positive, but I think everybody would appreciate if you kind of stuck to just the
All right,
true.
Jackal, we got to run, man. We got to run. All right, dude, we'll talk to you later.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Jackal.
All right, the Jackal. You heard it from him first. He doesn't go both ways. So, pick one
Dick
side.
Fitzwell goes both ways.
More importantly, we got Jay Rich texting in.
Oh.
Should we give him a quick 5-minute rebuttal?
All right, we're going to have Jay Rich. You're an intelligent man. We don't want the full spill. We want 5 minutes, and then we're jumping on to Nick Long.
I thought we had somebody else in between.
We do have someone else in between.
You guys, we need to get you to share this. We're switching things up now.
Hello, Jason Richardson here.
Jay, we got you on. We
wanted Dr. Jason Richardson.
Dr. Jason Richardson, is he available?
Yeah, Dr. J. Rich is here. The only thing that bums me out about this call is I can't watch anymore.
Okay, we got a strict show we got to keep, but we want to get your time on there, so we have the 5-minute rebuttal. Can you give us the quick 5-minute run?
Yeah. So I think I appreciate John's statement. Some of them I don't, because I feel like he's putting words in my mouth. I think it's okay to have an opinion and still help people. Like, for instance, Dale and I have been open about our concerns or our opinions about the Hill. We know it's not going away, but they're our opinions. And just because we may not like a Hill, we may not like numbers on the back of our jersey. It doesn't mean that we don't appreciate how far the sport's come. It doesn't mean that we don't recognize the fact that BMX has been good to us even after our careers.
Train for Olympics.
That was Evo.
I'm getting some feedback, so I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. Evo was dropping in for a quick comment on the Olympics. That's all.
Evo Lakuch just said.
I love Evo.
Yeah, he just said that he's taking Maris back to Latvia to train for the Olympics.
The program, the Gold Medal Mindset, is my podcast. I have two. It's a World Championships in Cruiser. I'm super proud of that. I know it's not 20-inch. I did make both mains that day. I was too busy celebrating from Cruiser to get a good gate 20-inch. And I got a Pan American gold medal. That was the best I can do. And that was the highest level for me. And, the thing that bugs me about this whole thing is like, he's acting like, oh yeah, I was humble, I was this. He attacked us. He attacked me.
Fair enough.
What is that? He said I have zero, right? He said I have zero credibility on a 20-inch. And it's like, dude, stop nitpicking. And this is what's wrong with BMX. It's like, man, I was on the ground floor at London. I was on the ground floor in Rio. I'm at the schools with the kids. Like, I'm not trying to get into like a pissing contest of who loves BMX more. We're all stupid over this sport. All of us have made dumb decisions to ride a 20-inch or 24-inch bicycle and go race it. Whether you're broke.
And I'm gonna agree with you because like I've worked with you on some of your stuff and you got some good stuff to say, so I'm not gonna argue with that.
Yeah. So the other thing is, the irony of this is, Tyler, Sam, like a lot of the stuff I learned from me winning. I did go to school. I have a PsyD, just to be fully transparent. It's a doctorate in psychology, not philosophy. Just to be fully transparent. But the irony of this is, like, I did learn from John Purse. I did learn from Greg Hill. I did learn from Maris, whom I've raced. I learned from watching you guys.
You're sounding very open-minded.
All that stuff goes into the computer, my brain, for me to figure this out. And so I mean, and for him to say like talk about what I believe in and who I am, I'm 42 years old. Okay, I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in my profession, in my sport, okay? I don't need somebody attacking me online and then coming on this show and then trying to act like, oh, yeah, I'm humble and, I respect those guys and, I like, no, you're not, dude. Like, you're not. The bottom line is, you are mad at me for whatever. I can see that. Like, that's fine, Jackal. I respected you as a rider, and as a person, I think you need some work, bro.
And fair, and you know what? That's what this forum is for. That's the whole point of this show. It's like that, and that's why I called you to jump back in.
Like, I know what it's like to be in those main events. I know what it's like to win, and I know what it's like to not win them. And I know what it's like to be a kid, wishing and hoping you go to the big race, you finally get there, and now what? And that's what the manual is for. But until somebody,
hang on.
And by the way,
off to the bathroom, work one out anytime you can, and when you get really good at it, you'll fucking be stroking it, and you'll be thinking about money.
That's a side note. Sam's got sound bites. He's ready to share it.
And by the way, when an elite rider comes to me to work with me, when anybody comes to me to work with me, I actually ask them, hey, you do know there's other people out there. It's not like I'm saying, oh, yeah, you came to the guy. I believe I'm good. I don't believe I'm the best. I'm working on it.
All right, Jay, we're at 5 minutes, man. That was your 5-minute rebuttal. We got to keep the show moving if you don't mind.
All right, I appreciate your time. Love what you guys are doing.
Right on, bro. You have a good one. We'll talk to you later.
Later, Jay.
All right, you guys heard it first. There we go. A little drama. We're ready. That's what we were waiting for. Some fireback action. I wanted the Jackal to come on. And
I like that.
Yeah, Jackal just came in and played it politically correct. Here at Cafe Willoughby,
Jackal won.
We're drinking red cups. We're not playing it political. I don't care.
Jackal won Moto 1, and then Jay Rich came in. He said, all right, it's on. It's semi-time. And there was a little controversy in the semi. Maybe show 2 we'll have the main event.
Did
and we'll
Jay
have,
Rich Jackal the Jackal?
He might have. Maybe in show 2 we'll have both of them at the same time.
Oh, we got 2 phones. We can just put them
and
together
then in
on
show
our red
3,
cups.
We might even get them in studio for a little duking out.
Wet t-shirt contest with the Jackal and Jay Rich. Oh, man, that got heated. We got the viewers back up now.
All right.
We had to cut the Jackal. I know that you guys are starting to leave. So you're back now. We got 139 of you. Do we have 60? We only have 5 minutes left. Do we have 64 shares on Facebook for the Shoey with Nick Long?
I don't know. I haven't been on to old Facebook, but we will check that. But for now, we have.
He's your friend. I'm gonna let you intro this one.
He is my friend. So we've got an intro here.
If he knows how to work his phone. Turn it around. All right.
You asked for it. We're bringing it to you.
So,
the Dick Fits Well.
This guy, like we said earlier in the show intro, he called in, left us his voicemail. We couldn't have him on live due to, I don't know, work or what he was going on.
Because he doesn't fit in here.
I think he bounces. He's a bouncer at a local adult establishment.
In Vancouver.
Yeah.
He lives in Vancouver.
He lives in Vancouver. He works at an adult establishment as a bouncer. So let's hear directly from Dick. We got a couple minutes for him, so put him on.
Here it is. You asked for it, Sir Richard Fitzwell.
If he can get it to work. Maybe. Does it work?
Yes, hello, Dick Fitzwell here again. Just calling you boys in on the show tonight. Thrilled to be on the team. Thrilled to be a part of the sport now for going on 8 days. It's been amazing, the journey this far. I mean, I want to just announce one thing, and that is that I went back, I watched the replay of the broadcast. I thought you boys were terrific. I was pretty happy with my performance, but I do want to make an announcement that I am done talking in third person. That was absolutely disgraceful and something I'm not proud of, so I won't be doing that anymore. Although I will go on to say that the chat room loves Dick, and Dick fits well. Well, he fits in well with this crowd. Alright, let's get right ahead into it. I'm going to give you boys a quick rundown on my thoughts from Zolder. I can't believe how exciting it was. I mean, what a race. I've had some reports out of Great Britain already. It turns out Quillan Isidore, he went down hard in the last turn, unfortunately broke his femur, but they're reporting that he still has the longest femurs in the sport, even though one is in half. So, great news and great update there out of GB. Now, I'm going to start with the women and do a quick wrap-up on the women's racing, which was action and plenty of it from the get-go. I mean, as you heard from the broadcast, I think it's fair to say all three of us big fans of the Russian riders. They were absolutely explosive all weekend. I mean, Bodorenko's hip explosivity is absolutely on par with the explosiveness that we've seen from Bau's movement around the track all weekend from both Papendale and Zolder. Now, in that main event, as we discussed in the broadcast, Bau left marks in the final turn, but I have noticed on social media she's regrouped. She got off to an explosive start on the weekend in Prague, but there was a blockage. At the halfway point of the race, she allowed Smulders to utilise Bau's clean air and relegate Bau to producing another, yet impressive, number 2. As we move on to the men from Zolder, I mean, I've got to start with what was the absolute crash of the fortnight. The last 2 weeks, there was an absolute explosion. How about Sakaki Barra and Nyhog and the boys in that heat? I mean, that was a massive ejection on the first jump. It looked like a Wednesday morning in Baghdad. It really did. And then as I move on to the rest of the weekend, I mean, I was really impressed with all the vans. Ghent, Durberg and Gorkum. There was a few others. I mean, there was about 19 vans from Holland that all produced like they were selling ice creams at 3 o'clock out the front of an elementary school. It was very impressive. Connor Fields was the class of the field on day 1. I mean, day 2, though, not sure what happened. The young lad from Las Vegas, he was up and down like a Mormon bride's nightie. It was not good to see, and we'll look for him to rebound here next weekend at Nashville and on to the World Championships in his home country of the USA. And now I'm going to move on and do a bit of a few predictions for the upcoming weekend in Nashville, Tennessee, the heartland of America. I mean, Fitzwell, he's going to keep this one quite brief. He feels that Stromberg's isn't fucking around anymore. He's on a carbon bike, and I think he's poised to give them an old-fashioned Latvian clean and jerk over the head. Thanks for coming, Western World. See yous later. I really think Stromberg's is poised for a good weekend here in Nashville. He's done it there before. I did see, though, that the vans are dropping in on Nashville for a delivery of possibly a Dave Vandenberg Dutch oven on the field down the front stretch, the long front stretches of Tennessee. So look for Dave Vandenberg there. He is a big horse and he will be utilising every pedal he gets out there in Tennessee. Now, Dick is excited for the women. He's always excited for the women. Nashville, we're going to see the return of Minnesota's finest Elise Post. We'll look for us to... She'll be looking to regather some points in the USA BMX Pro rankings this weekend. We'll also be looking for Lauren Reynolds. Her hamstrings are still lengthened from the stretching we've seen before the finals in Papendale, and she'll be looking for an explosive recoil bow-like effect to propel her down the front stretch and into a podium position out there in Nashville. We will be missing Fresno's finest Brooke Crane, but could her spot be filled by an unexpected arrival from Bow? All things we don't know yet, and we'll look forward to seeing how it plays out there in Nashville, Tennessee. All right, lastly, for my call-in tonight on your first show, I'm going to go to a few questions I had on social media, and we'll start with one from David Herman, a blast from the past there, old David Herman, the Colorado kid. David was wondering, he had a question about Judy Bow, and he was wondering if she gets pinched, should she push harder or let it happen naturally? Well, we touched on this earlier, Dave, with an example from the race in Prague on the weekend. it's become apparent that when Bao pushes too hard, she can tend to create and open the door for air to pass or a catastrophic explosion to happen. So I think from the information we've gathered over probably the past month, it's become apparent that it happens best for Bao when she lets it happen naturally. Okay, so great question there from David. And don't forget, send your questions into the Cafe Willoughby Twitter page, and I will do my best to answer them on a weekly basis. Lastly, Dick's going to wrap it up. No pun intended there. With some social media highlights from the week. I had a bit of a scan through social media. I did my research, and I'm gonna start here with T-Bone Tanner Sebesta from Texas. It appears that Tanner, he's after the weekend, he's reflected and he's decided to train with a weighted pole. Dick's view on weighting the pole is fuck. Just be careful when hanging weights from the pole. That could be bad. So, great insight there from Fitzwell. And, still talking in third person. So we're going to continue to work on that. And as a reminder to you all, and lastly, to wrap things up, remember, if you don't know, watch Botarenko. Thank you.
Well...
Good advice from
There you go. So we're having a little technical difficulties on the studio side. The computer's actually running out of batteries, so we're going to switch audio. Sam, you got to keep talking for a second about something. Talk about Fitzwell.
All right,
I got to do some technical things over
All
here.
right, we're going to have a quick technical switch over here. But, great insight there from Fitzwell, as always. He's very knowledgeable in the sport already after just 8 days, and I think it's fair to say that everything he said there was pretty close to spot on. Big fan of the Russians. Okay.
Oh, that's why we didn't want Elise to actually move things. But, it's fine. We'll make it work.
Okay, we're getting the camera back now. And we're back live again.
Well, keep talking.
Okay.
Keep talking.
So, anyway, so... Bao had exceptional knowledge there on Fitzwell had exceptional knowledge on Bao, I should say. Sorry, we've got some technical difficulties here where we're trying to readjust make sure we get a charge on the laptop so that we don't run out of battery before we bring in San Diego's finest quick Nick Long. Back. Can you hear us now?
No, give me a second. Hold on. All right, try that. Can you hear us now?
Are we back?
Can you hear us now? Are we back in action? All right,
we're back.
All right, we're back.
Yeah, great insight from Fitzwell is basically what we're saying. We do have minimal plug-in space here for charging and whatnot, so we're going to have to flick back and forward between charges, but we're going to get through it here tonight. We're going to keep you fans happy, and we're going to move on now to the great man himself in studio, Rockstar Haro Zone, Quick Nick Long.
Bring him in, a round of applause. Round of applause. Here, you jump in the middle. I might have to do technical stuff on the side here.
All right, quick Nick. Cheers, brother.
Cheers, they didn't give me the red cup.
Welcome to the studio. All right.
Sam's been working on some questions for you.
We got some questions here for quick Nick, so I'm going to just flick back and we're going to get this thing underway. So let's get started. We're going to keep it present here in this show. We're not going to talk about the past too much, but Nick, you didn't race in Papandreou Zolder. You were over there. Fill us in.
Yeah, I tweaked my back in Atlanta, a little small race, something stupid. I ended up just getting my MRI stuff back, and I ruptured another disc and pressing into a nerve. Blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, to skip those races, and here dealing with it now, just rehabbing and, doing what I can to get through.
10-4.
So what's going on with the back, though? You went over there, so your back's blown.
It's completely tacoed.
Completely tacoed, in half. Do you have a good rest of your trip?
I did what I could, besides, Brooke was there. We were roommates. She crashed, her very first lap, and so I played doctor all week in the hospital with her in Papandreou, and then
played doctor with Brooke?
Yeah, babysat.
All right.
Gave her her bedpan and made sure she was eating for the day or two I was
Heck
there.
of a game.
All right.
I heard that could be played differently.
It was fun, and made sure she was doing good.
Yeah.
Doctor was there. Yeah.
Good.
Way to go, doctor. Way to go, Dr. Nick.
Nick's a doctor now.
I got a little bit of everything on the resume.
Dr. Nick.
So, 2017 thus far. Fill us in. Happy, disappointed.
It's pretty much just been a big come down from the Olympic disappointment. So I just, kind of going through the motions and just realizing now that I'd probably better step it up if I want to do well at the Worlds. So yeah, it's been, made some mains, got a podium here and there, but not really gave it too much until now I got an injury, so I got to deal with that. But gonna deal with that now and hopefully show up for Worlds with a little bit of pepper.
All right, Nick. Me and you are good mates. We've had this conversation in private. I'm gonna put it out there for the people now. It's not what you think it's gonna be.
This could get real weird real quick.
You're one of the fastest guys week in, week out at training. Doesn't matter who shows up on Tuesday night at Chula Vista, you'll beat them. Hands down, you've sent me home many Tuesday nights gone, fuck, how am I going to beat Nick this weekend? When are you going to win a title, Nick?
That's a heck of a question, actually.
I can tell you.
You're very successful in amateur, but when is Nick Long going to have the rainbows? When is Nick Long going to have an ABA title? When is Nick Long going to just start dominating?
I can tell you the ABA title ain't going to come easy this year. That's for sure, given the first half of the year. Rainbows, possibly, if I quit slacking off. But you know how it is for me. I enjoy being competitive at defending the local track title and blah, blah, blah. A bad mindset I have, and I've always had, I guess, as a pro, once I made it to the main, it was that was good enough for me. So that's something I need to lose and work on, I guess, but I don't know.
We need Nick to win the title. I mean, your training approach, you show up every week, like I said, Tuesday night, we're full of beans. You execute every Tuesday, you execute every Saturday, every Thursday, whatever it is that we're training, you're the fastest guy there. You got all the records, all the times, this. You're one of the most talented athletes the sport's ever seen for anyone that's watched, training at the track, things like that through amateur careers. Well, what changes from in your opinion, what changes from your approach, on a Tuesday night where it doesn't matter who shows up, Maris, Joris, Connor, myself, whoever it is at the time, and you line up next to him and you fuck this, I'll beat you, and you do. But what changes from Tuesday to Saturday for you, Nick, to where you don't win every week?
I think it just comes down to mindset, and once I get there, I made it good enough, and that's not the right way to go about it. And I'm also, I think more so want to make my career more of a longevity thing, and I'm really not a fan of crashing. So I don't like putting it on the line when it needs to be put on the line.
Yep.
I'm most of the time the first person to back down and get out of the way and play it safe when it's not the way to go. I get done with that lap and I put my head down and it's upsetting, but then I also walk away from the weekend like, oh, thankfully I didn't crash. I get a race next weekend. So it's tough. It's tough to find that.
And I think that's a
medium line.
strength of yours in that you have a good balance of that you have fun and whatever else. But do you feel that you could find a middle ground there to where you could still have that fun mentality and be able to put races behind you and move on to the next, but also have a bit of like, fuck, I want to win, you know?
Yeah, I do, and it's weird because that mindset to win, I have it in so many aspects of life, you know, just whether it be playing a card game or anything. But it seems like when it comes to a race, it's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna back off, and I don't know what it is or what it comes from. Just bad habit, I think, to be honest with you. Something I did a good job at being better at it last year. You know, not giving up at those World Cup races when I was in, you know, came out of the gate in last, and I was like, oh fuck, I got to put it down now. Mm-hmm. So I can do it. It just depends. It seems like it depends on the time of the year or what races we're going to and what races are important to me. So I need to have that right mindset for whatever race I'm going to.
Yeah. Okay. And I guess the next question is, I mean, it's no secret you led the Olympics to halfway. You had a gold medal.
You bet I did.
You had a gold medal in your pocket, and you hit your pedal on the floor, and you know it went up in smoke. So Tokyo.
Oh man, I'm gonna give it a crack. You know, I don't have any plans on slowing down racing anytime soon. I still love it more than anything, and yeah, that was a tough day. You know, did what I could to get into the main, made the main, had a hell of a first straightaway, edged you out a little bit on the first jump, and was able to get ahead. And then I don't know if I started pedaling too early or what it was exactly, but yeah, I hit my pedal on the ground, and then I should have closed the door in the last turn. But it was just kind of a, you know, that's the line I had been taking all day, and Jelly took his opportunity, and he was good. I got no...
One of the vans dropped in on delivery.
Yeah, he did. The van came in and sold it.
Delivered an ice cream.
It was just a kind of a... I got no regrets about the day, and I did what I could. You know, stretched as best I could to beat Carlos, but we seemed to go back and forth on who beat each other at the line, me and Carlos.
So just a heads up and a little... audio might be a hair off, but we're needing to switch to the iPhone camera for a minute while the laptop charges. We're doing everything we can to keep this thing going as the laptop is dying. So sorry if I've been jumping on screen and off screen, but I think we got it semi-fixed here, so we can at least charge the battery for a few minutes.
Yeah, we'll just finish Nick's interview with the iPhone, and then we'll get the other microphone back. But at least you can see the man himself. Beautiful tats, beautiful looking man, Rockstar NG Haro bicycles. So, Nick, I think you've already answered it, but I'm going to ask it anyway. If you could have one race back, what would you have back, and what would you do differently?
Oh, well, I mean, I would say the Olympics, yeah.
Rockford?
Rio. Yeah, Rockford 2010. I almost got second.
I almost got second.
Yeah, I mean, Rio is a tough one. It comes back into that mindset, you know. I don't know if I ever really wanted to win that race, just because I don't know if I'm the person that was meant to win that, to be that person that's sitting
What a liar.
Ellen DeGeneres
What a
or something.
liar.
You guys know who I really am. I'm not that person.
Yep.
So it was tough. But yeah, it would have been cool to have that medal, you know, or at least that bronze that got taken away at the line. So it's not a regret at all, but that would have been cool to change a little bit.
10-4. All right. So, I mean, we touched on it a little bit, but you know, you're very consistent in training. You're a consistent 3 to 5 guy. You know, if you want to put a number on it, like, you know, Nick Long, 3rd to 5th every weekend, no worries. Chalk you up for that. Does that bug you at night? Is it hard to put your head on the pillow going, fuck, I'm better than these guys, but I'm running 3rd to 5th? Or are you happy with that, knowing that you're happy, you got friends, you live a good life, you're having fun doing what you're doing, and there's nothing wrong with 3 to 5, but knowing that you have the potential to win in every race that you enter, does it bug you that you don't win as much?
No, honestly it doesn't. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy training as much as I do, and the training's the easy part, and also have a good family life, good friends life, and I got no problems there. I think it all comes down to mindset, to be honest with you. And I don't have a problem being the 3 to 5 guy. You know, there's plenty of people that are the 12 to 15 guys that want to be, you know, have it as good as I do, or, you know, we do. Mm-hmm. And I'm perfectly content being there.
I'd like to be as fast as you guys and have as many races win as you guys do. I never did that, so Good work, fellas. Good work.
I mean, I'll stop giving you a hard time because, I mean, Nick, it's no question Nick is one of the top guys in the world, and I just give him a hard time because I think he could be winning every weekend, and I tell him that every time we have red cups. But
what a little bromance here.
But, so I'll stop giving Nick a hard time. You have won races. What is your biggest win in your career thus far? Other than the
would have been Rockford.
Other than the half lap in Rio.
Or Rockford.
Like one to the finish line.
I'm still waiting for the answer hole shot award. I'm hoping it's like a 10 grand hole shot award. Biggest win?
Tuesday night answer hole
Rio.
shot.
No, Rio. Send him his hole shot award. Come on, guys.
I don't know what my biggest win was. Probably, I mean, to be honest with you, besides like, I think I've only really won a couple. I've won national champs and blah, blah, blah. But I think my biggest, most meaningful win was the just that third quarter in Rio.
Somebody asked you if you could go to Fresno and put Jake Peebles over the first turn.
No, Jake, she's all right. Spell my name right next time, maybe I will.
Oh, get out of here, guy.
No, but yeah, that third quarter in Rio.
You like the quarterfinal.
And
you like that?
I had to come through. I had 2 fifths.
Okay.
And I knew I was better than what I was doing, and I just had to have that pressure. And when I came through what I did,
understandable.
I was happy about it. Same thing with the second day, the third semi. I had like a 4th and a 5th or something, and then I got second in the third one to tie Corbin, but beat him in the third round to make the main. Mm-hmm. And I made myself proud being able to come through when I needed to.
Okay.
Which I don't usually do, in these like the ABA races, because I never feel like I really need to.
But you've won ABA races, you've won Supercrosses.
Yeah.
You've won national championships recently. Only last year, wasn't it? 15.
Yeah.
I'm still in 16. But
me too. I wish.
But it's the quarterfinal
that would be my favorite win. I think I won. I don't know, that World Cup win in Chulo was super cool. Yep. It's always fun to go back and watch in 2010 just how crazy it was. Just the different. There was
that was probably one of the best races ever.
Yeah,
lead changes. That had to be one of the best races.
4 lead changes.
And that was a cool day. Especially being in my hometown. I had all my family there. And
what was it like to win a Supercross race as an amateur? Tour. I mean, you were an amateur in
Salt Lake City.
And who got right behind you? Wasn't it
Mikey,
your 2 Olympians? Wasn't Kyle on there too?
Mikey was fresh off a silver medal and got second.
Donnie was 4th. All 3 of them were 2nd, 3rd, 4th.
So you had your Olympic team behind you, and you were an amateur winning that.
Yeah,
that was cool. That like?
That was cool just because it was so long ago. It was like, I feel like I'm part of like the old guys now. It seems like like there's so many young guys.
You are pretty old.
And so it's not it's cool to look at now and
Grandpa Dr. Nick.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
you are a doctor now.
It's funny, and I almost posted a photo today from that one because I wanted to do like a motivation Monday kind of thing with that and
use it on
a few
Thursday for a throwback Thursday.
So what was I going to ask?
Oh, one person wanted to know who's your best partier friend.
Yeah, Dave. That was to Herman, wasn't it? Herman.
Yeah, I believe. Well, I wasn't going to see if he said Herman.
Best partier.
He asked, "Who do you party with now that he's gone?"
Yeah.
Yeah, Herman. Now that he's retired, so I got to go to Colorado to hang out with him and drink his booze. Who does a good job these days? I can tell you Sean Gain doesn't do a good job.
It's probably easier to name those who don't do a good job.
Well, it would be way easier to not do it.
He weighs about 135 pounds.
Yeah, so he was out of his league.
2 shots and he's done.
Posey does pretty well.
Posey goes well.
But he gets too frat boy on us, and it's hard to hang out with him for long periods of time.
He is a frat boy.
With under the booze influence.
He's in a frat house.
I know it's tough to hang on that aggro level.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I just go out on my own limb and just drink as much as I can until nobody wants to hang out anymore.
You definitely, the first to come, last to leave.
Always.
We've had many a nights here at the studio, and Nick first in, last out. If he leaves,
usually not.
He's still here.
People to bed.
He's never left. He's still here.
He's put me to bed or the toilet many times, and there's been, all sorts of things. Sprinklers, spigots, you name it.
Horizontal spigots.
Yes, you are a frat boy, Justin. All right, so quick name game, and then we'll jump on to the next segment. So we'll start with David Herman.
The Wolf.
The Wolf. Deke Brown.
The Dad.
Joe Zurich.
Silver Bullet.
Okay. These are all off the cuff. Dominic Daniels.
Inch and 3/8.
Word. On the front?
On the either or. Yeah, on the rear. I want the dragster on the rear.
Okay.
USA BMX.
Scamming.
Maris Strombergs.
The GOAT.
All right, and we'll leave it there. Good stuff, Nick. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to sit in on camera if you want. But yeah, we're going to jump into the next segment now, and we'll try to plug the laptop back in, and we'll bring up a few highlights, and we're going to touch on the upcoming weekend in Nashville.
All right, guys, so we got some clips we're going to play from Nashville. We'll try to switch the camera around while these play.
Just bear with us. Bear with us.
Gates down, Bet Pros coming down the front side. Hobby sticking his nose out there. Besserine on the inside. Here we go. It's Besserine coming away with that whole shot. The S squared ride. Sitting up front. SC Colors, Hobby Colombo. Sitting on the do. It's Besserine, Colombo. They're knocking bars out of turn number 2, the 12 ride. Apolletto sitting in the 3. Besserine starting to spread it out now. Heading back to the line. Besserine gonna get the ace. Hobby Colombo in there for the 2. The 12 ride. Gate snaps down. Here we go. Power pull coming down the front side straight away. Oh, looks like it's going to be the 33 bike. It's going to be today. Up front, got Fields looking for a way out. Dean coming around the high side. It's going to go today. Dean, Fields bringing it back. Collins looking for some room. In and out of corner number 2. Today, up front, on the go, grabbing a hole shot. Here comes Dean. In and out of that turn as they bring him back home right now. It's today. And Dean, 1 and 2. Fields and Collins rounding out your...
All right, guys.
All right.
So a little Nashville action.
I mean, we've seen Vet Pro, we've seen AA there. I mean, Nashville, no question. It's the it's like the last great Coliseum in BMX. The only drag strip we've probably got left. So it's going to be definitely going to be a bit of a showdown there this weekend in all classes. But
they are going to be pulling it out and measuring tip to base, so we're going to see who's gonna have it out there.
All the way to the base.
All the way. They're going to want to push the skin in a bit too.
All the way to the base.
Yes, that is the last measuring contest we have in BMX. So. But I think it's going to be a big race. I mean, leading up to the Worlds, a lot of guys coming to America. The Dutch guys are coming over. I think Sylvain Assin's coming back over.
Is he going to be back here too?
But I mean, if I'm going to be honest, I think that. I'm agreeing with Dick. I think Maris is.
I think Maris is going to pull it out.
He is one of the most athletic, best racers we've seen ever come to this sport. And I mean, it'll come back to if Maris wants to win or not. But I really think that the race is going to be between Maris, Joris, and Dino this weekend.
I would agree with that. That's one of those tracks that's not the most technical. It's all about that horsepower because once you get out of turn number 1, it's pretty basic. So it's all about, like you said, I think those guys kind of hit the nail on the head. Anthony's like a freaking diesel truck. Once that guy gets going, you better watch out. Maris can win from anywhere.
But just run the clip from 2014.
Let's
have a look at what Maris did.
Let's get into that.
Let's have a look at 2014.
We'll show you guys a little Maris here. Give me a second to get it pulled up. We gotta get this one.
I think Maris gives himself a little bit of space.
All right,
and he's gonna drop it.
So here's a little preview of the Strom Dog just to show you what he can do.
Gates down, elite man, the machine trying to get it out. Connor Fields got a pretty good look. Strawberry's diving down on that one spot. Got the con man sitting in that 2 slot.
Look at that.
Sharon looking in on the 3 side.
Oh, and Kurt.
Picard
That's pretty bigger than that.
All about Stromberg's right now. Last turn to con man, trying to find a way in. Stromberg's bringing it back. Fields gonna pick up the 2.
So I mean,
I've got a podium there. I got a second there.
You have, yeah.
I got a podium there one year too. NBL. Back in the NBL.
I have one there too.
There we go. Yeah.
You beat me the year I got second.
I gotta claim my podiums. Only like 2, so I gotta announce when they happen.
No, but I think that race there of Maris. I mean, I go back and watch that. So I remember I wasn't in that final, but watching that, he was on fire that weekend, and that was just a pure example of how good and strong he is, and that he really just showed how good he was that weekend. And if he does that again, he's going to be really hard to beat. But in saying that, Joris is amazing when it comes to pedaling. He can accelerate like no other. And then obviously the old Dutch oven Dave Vandenberg's going to be there too.
Yeah, you got the whole Dutch crew. Which Dutchy guys are coming out?
I think the whole squad. I think there's 19 of them.
19, all 19. Is
the whole van crew.
Is Boss going to race this weekend too?
Boss is in,
Bass is in, yep. They're bringing the van.
The vans are bringing the van.
They drove here.
They literally drove a van, bringing the vans.
They did. No,
Perfect.
I mean, that'll be good, but I'm picking Maris.
Fair enough.
I'd take Maris too.
All right, well, if you guys both got Strami, I'm going to throw... I want Dino to win.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I want him to win too, but did you just see what Maris did?
Yeah, fair enough. So we'll see if our predictions are correct this weekend. What about the ladies? What about on the ladies' side?
The ladies, I mean, we're going to see the return of Minnesota's finest, as Fitzwill said, the Beast, Elise Post.
Yeah.
Brooks out, so that's kind of the battle for the points there in the ladies. But
will Bao move in?
If Bao makes movement over to the US, then it will be explosive.
It could explode.
She could move in for an explosive number 2.
She could.
I don't think she's taking over Beast.
A number 1 out of Bao.
A number 1's out. It's not in her league, I don't think. Number 2 for sure.
Solid number 2 from Bao. Okay.
But Laz has got the track speed.
Okay.
I don't know about the sprint, flat sprint.
The hamstrings are stretched.
The hamstrings will be stretched, but does she have the long pull?
Okay. Well, I'm calling it Elise.
Oh, and you just knocked the camera down, so there we go. We're back now. We're back.
Sorry about that.
One of these days, this laptop might charge up so you can actually see us.
I mean, I'll say it again. I'm calling Elise. Nick, ladies, who are you calling?
Oh.
Maybe you could call multiple winners over the 2 days.
Oh, we do have 2 days.
2 days, it would be easy.
I think Joris is going to get up there for one of the days.
Can we just call second? Unless Ariel's coming back out, I don't think Elise is getting beat.
Okay.
Fair enough.
10-4.
Fair enough.
And Tyler, ladies.
I'm trying to get the cup fixed. We got some issues. Just grab the cup. Don't worry, you're not on screen. There we go. There you go.
Tyler, ladies.
I think you're right. I think Elise is going to get first both days.
Okay.
She better not let me down. I think she'll be up there for the win. She's been, we actually do sprints together sometimes, and she almost beats me, so it's kind of scary.
We didn't need to put that on file, but
but you did. But you did. And I think Vet Pro, I mean, there's not too much discussion there. I mean, Christian, he could probably still mix it up in AA if he wanted to on a track.
Especially on a track like that.
So, and since DB is retired because all he bitches about is crashing.
DB, too many.
And sitting at the desk is hard.
He's a desk,
so he's
a desk jockey.
He's got to really look forward to the desk he's got to get to on Monday, and he doesn't want to put it down. He doesn't want to put the work in, He'd rather do the Sundays at the beach.
Good for him.
Good for him. I mean, I do too.
At one point, he was coming out to the track, though. What happened to him?
He had a big heart on for it for a bit, but he lost it when he backflopped in, where was that, Rockford? No, Rock Hill.
Oldsmar. He ninja flipped
it was
Oldsmar.
Oldsmar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he retired again. But he'll probably be back next year. He might put a bid in for the title.
Someone said Buchanan. Is she going?
Nah, she's training for mountain bikes right now. But then she'll do.
I think she's got a photo shoot that weekend.
I think she's doing side hack this weekend.
Yeah.
It is a side hack weekend, and then mountain bike. What is it? What's the Crankworks? Then World Cup or World Champs.
Okay. All right. So yeah, those are our predictions for Nashville. I mean, we'll obviously have a big review on Nashville next Monday night, but it's one of those tracks that's I always enjoyed racing there because it was a fun competitive track, always a good drag strip with the lads there.
Yes it was. You guys talk for another second. I'm gonna see if
until you guys started pulling for that gigantic table, and I had a
that's
30-inch rear end that I couldn't do it.
Easy on the you guys. I mean, I was never pulling for that thing.
I would never pull.
The year that everybody pulled, that was 15. You weren't in the main because you weren't pulling for the thing.
I didn't go in 2015.
Oh, then you were lucky.
Not 2014. I wasn't in the main either because I wasn't pulling. Back in 2013, when we were all jumping it.
We were launching it. We were full speed launching.
If there's a tabletop at full speed, you launch it.
You take it. You take it to the end. You take as flat as you can.
You do. All right. So anyway, that's our Nashville. Bit of a scoop there. Bit of a wrap up on Nashville, and we can. Do you want to take a quick look at the points, or?
Yeah, we can take a quick peek at that. I don't think our other camera's gonna work, so we might just have to run with this one.
All right, we'll run with this camera
or something.
Who do we want to see first? Ladies first.
Yeah, jump on the ladies first.
Ladies first.
Here we are. Touch on the. No, we're not going to touch on the ladies, but we'll look at the ladies.
All right.
So as you can see, Brooke Crane at the top of the list there. She's had a few wins this year and got quite a lead. Remember that these points...
Quite a lead? Sweet Jesus.
Remember in USA BMX, though, it's really hard to look at the points at this point of the season because it does come down to your best 10 scores, and it really doesn't mean anything until the full nationals are over, and then you can sort of start predicting things for the Grands. So we got Brooke and... Shaylin, Lauren, Danny George, and then Elise back and forth. So Elise will be definitely looking to make up some ground this weekend. And then as we scoot over to the blokes.
Let's go take a peek at the fellas.
Show me top 10.
There we
show
go.
Me top 10.
There we
show
go.
Me top 10.
So pretty much the same thing in the blokes. You can see that Joris has got quite a convincing lead right now and has the most scores out of everyone. We got Quick Nick back there in 8th, and he's probably happy there. He'll sit there quite comfortably. He'll dominate practice all year, and Nick will party on.
I want to roll on to South Park, and then we're gonna pull it out there.
Okay.
We got a bit of an uphill sprint.
South Park.
I'm gonna bring it. All right.
You heard
I'm bringing it. You heard it live.
You heard it here first. Nick Long starts his title chase at South Park.
Yeah, we're starting it there.
All right. So we're going to jump on now. That's Nashville, I guess, and we'll jump on to our next segment. We're going to call in on Anthony Dean.
Give him a ring. Give him a ring.
We'll listen in for this one.
Well, you guys chat with Anthony. I might see if I can get the video to work again.
Technical difficulties here.
iPhones are pretty tricky
this whole
sometimes.
thing is technically difficulted.
It actually is. It actually is very difficult.
No, it's running smoothly.
Yeah, no problems at all.
If these were GoPros, I would have it freaking down, dude.
Bro.
Let's get the drone in here and float it right in front of us.
I'm going to tell you one thing. My red cup's empty.
I can tell you that as well. You can put a little bit of froth in there.
Hello?
All right, Anthony Dean, you're live on the air. Cafe Willoughby, what's going on?
Oh, Dino.
Fellas, I hear a few of us in the background.
Yeah, we got Nick Long in studio. Tyler's here. He's working on a few technical difficulties right now, but we can hear you. So, what are you up to tonight?
Oh, just driving home from the track, out of Lake Paris.
Nice.
Had 2 flat tires, bit of a rough night, but...
How was the session? Good.
How many photos did you get today?
How many what?
Photos.
Oh, none tonight.
Oh, you're off pace.
I got them in the bank for week.
Off week.
So we'll jump right into it, Dino. Europe, you just come back from 2 weeks in Europe. Up and mixed results for you over there. Tell us how it was.
Yeah, it was a shitload of fun, just taking out Europe.
Yep.
It was alright. Did 3 weeks in Australia, which kind of burnt me out a little bit, and then 2 weeks in Europe, and the racing was definitely tough, and I think I maybe underestimated a little and didn't have very good results, but I think I got a 4th on one of the races. That was my best result, so I'll take that. But I think it was just a long 2 weeks, a lot of racing. On the second weekend is, if you had to go to last chance qualify, you end up racing 8 races, which I did the first day in Zolder, so kind of, you feel it. There's a lot more racing than I'm used to, so. But yeah, all in all, it was I think it works better having 2 days. I definitely like that better, rather than just go all the way to Europe for one race,
For sure. So we're going to go back to the Olympics. You pretty much won every lap at the Olympics. You're one of the favourites going into the final, and obviously didn't turn out the way you wanted to, but you carried that form from the Olympics and went on to win the Grands, and then came out and pretty much won both days in Phoenix at the start of the year. You ended up second on day 1. You got passed on the 3rd straight, but pretty much almost won both days there, and got off to a good start, and then had a bit of an injury at Oldsmar, which has set you back a little bit. But with all that being said, what's your priority now for sort of the rest of the year?
Yeah, for sure. I think, like you said, I had a good run, and then I guess all good runs come to an end, which happened in Florida. And now I'm just kind of building back and just trying to get my confidence back and trying to get fast again. But the goal now is really just these next 2 races, Nashville and Salt Lake, which I think it kind of suits me better, and I can hopefully do good at these 2 and get my confidence back up. And really the goal this year is just the World Championships and get a result there. And I've made just about every World Championship final since 2012, and I've just always made mistakes in the mains and never got what I wanted to get. So, that's my goal this year, is a nice, flat, big open track. And, that's really what I'm focusing on, and just going to put the next 10 weeks into that, as well as Instagram photos.
Yeah, no doubt.
So,
and videos.
Good stuff. So, I mean, it's been announced here in the last probably week or two, Maris has joined you over at Supercross, and do you see that as the sort of the new top pro team, and you can potentially give the Chase boys a bit of a run for their money? Will you two be training together now, or we've seen some photos of you two out at the track together?
Yeah, I'm actually moving into his house this week.
Yep.
He doesn't know it yet, but I'm just going to move in. And it's good. I'm pumped that Bill at Supercross has kind of let us do our own thing as far as just running the frame and logos and kind of getting your own sponsors. And Bill gave me a call like 2 weeks ago and said, would you like Morris on the team? And obviously of course I love Morris on the team. So we had a chat, and then it was and here we are. So I'm pretty pumped. I think, hopefully for me, I think I'll finish BMX racing and, hopefully on a Supercross, and to finish, as a teammate of Morris is, I guess, a dream, and even just to be on the same team as Morris is another pretty cool thing for me. So, he's one of the best,
Did you tear up?
I think did you just tear up?
Hey?
So
did I tear up? Yeah.
Oh, we have a sound drop that I can't get to right now, but maybe Evo will take you back to Latvia to train with Maris.
Yeah, that would be great. I might just cross the grid for a bit.
Beautiful.
You're just trying to get in and say what's up to Maris' sister-in-law?
So we're going to jump into some questions now we had on social media. A listener, this one's, I don't endorse this question, but a listener, 361 Racing, asked, why do you look like you're going to crash every time you hit a big jump?
Yeah, I knew that one was coming. Tell us, because I'm scared of these big-ass jumps.
No, you're not.
No, I think I just tighten up, and I think I just ride too aggressive. I think that's my problem, is I can train, I can do jumps in training well, and, I think it just comes down to confidence, and, some of these big jumps, I just go too hard and just try and push through it too much, and, maybe I just don't relax enough. I think that's my issue.
Yeah.
But I usually have one. I've had one just about every race I've ever raced in, so, I'm trying to bring it down to not as many.
Okay. No, I think you're doing pretty well out there. We've all seen that. So you've always been one of those guys that I guess has raced probably better than you train, and you've always been one to kind of, I wouldn't say take it easy in training. You train really hard, but when it comes to on the track, you're not gonna. You always go up a notch in racing. Is that an approach that you feel works for you and keeps you at an optimal level in training and a maximal level in racing, or is that something that you want to work on and you feel you could, up your racing game by, pushing harder a little bit on the track in training at times?
Yeah, definitely. I think, going back before the Olympics, it was probably my third time, obviously, training with Sam before the Olympics, a little bit out of the Supercross track there, and I was, almost forced to train a little bit harder or a bit more, aggressive over the jumps. And I think I've always been, ever since I was younger as well, I like to rise to occasion. I like that pressure, and I like that atmosphere feeling to, bring me to another level. And like you said, I still train as hard as I can in training in the gym and sprints. And I think one of my big things I lack is obviously track training, and I do it, but I just don't do the big jumps, or I don't do, things I should, which I'm working on. But, I think I just like the pressure of rising to an occasion and that atmosphere of, shit, we're in it now, not that, just that part where you can't back out now and do the do or die,
Yep. No,
I think that's something you've always been good at. Is I always noticed over your career, you perform when the pressure's on. So that's one thing that probably a lot of guys do the opposite, where some guys are really good in motos, and as the pressure gets on, they struggle. You're kind of the opposite. You need that just to get going, just to have that motivation no matter what it is.
Exactly.
All right.
And then
So,
I found free workout and all is good now.
all right. Last question. So Nashville this weekend, is that a race that you sort of, Nashville and Salt Lake coming up? I guess they're almost back to back. But is this 2 races that you feel are a must to get back to winning, to chase the ABA title, or is it more about just preparation for the world titles for you now?
No, 100%. I'm gonna, these next two weeks with Nashville and Salt Lake is my goal now, and then after that I'll start figuring on the worlds. But I think, I've had good success in Salt Lake and good success in Nashville. I think it suits my style, so I really, just for myself, I'm gonna, try and do good there, and then get my confidence back up, and hopefully get a win or a couple, and put my name back in the points for the ABA, and see what we can do.
For sure.
Sounds good, Dino.
But
Well,
it's a must to get into it,
for sure.
All right, Dino. Well, man, you have a good night. I'm sure you got some ladies lined up that you're going out on a date or something like that. So go ahead, get showered up, say what's up to the ladies, and
I got about 4 waiting at home, so I'll let it run.
Beautiful, man.
All right, Dino, man. You have a good night, man, bro. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, fellas. Bye.
Yeah, peace.
See you, Dino.
So we're starting to get towards the end, but we do have a few Q&As. I would look at my phone, but currently with our situation, where that is actually the camera,
yeah.
so we're gonna turn it over to you, Sam, for some of those Q&As.
One thing we're gonna start with is we're gonna go to Facebook and check the share.
Let's check the shoeies because I'm getting pretty friggin' thirsty here.
Nick's getting thirsty, so we're gonna
What am I
check.
doing for free?
We're gonna check the shares, and we'll see what we're at here to see what Nick needs to do here. Where are we at? Which post are we looking at here?
I have no idea.
Yeah, we're gonna say that we're right on 64.
Yeah, sure.
so-
We have 64.
Well, somebody spike me a Bevo. Let's
We're right on 64.
spark one up.
So Nick's gonna.
What a time to look at the board, huh?
Who did that from the producer in the back?
That was
Producer
great
in the back.
timing.
Can we get a shoey lined up?
Great timing, fans. So you're gonna get what you asked for.
I believe I'm getting a call.
Hello.
Hello, hey, hi, how you going?
What do we got?
All
You
right.
just want vodka? You want a vodka
no,
shoey?
I don't want tequila. Oh, give me something light. Isn't there a Corona or something in there? Not a big old heavy shit beer. A heavy Fat Boy Posey beer.
Track staff wants to know, what do you bench, Nick?
I've gotten 225, 2 separate times, 1 each.
All right.
Count it.
Count it.
Sam could almost
Today, I could probably do 185 about 3 times.
Sam could almost do 3 sets
Kilos.
of 10 push-ups at one point.
There was a time when I could do 10 push-ups.
It was amazing.
All right.
Here we go. You guys have seen the shoey before. You have a phone call?
Nick,
It's coming in.
Okay.
Bad service though. Hold on, let me fix the antenna.
Okay, add a little liquid to electricity. That always helps. You're seeing it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
We need more subscribers.
You better subscribe. There's only 122 people watching this shoey go down.
Sign it up.
You
Sign
better
it
share
up.
this right now.
Quick, Nick.
There we go.
There we go. Nick Long, ladies and gentlemen.
Nick Long. And the feet go right back in the shoe, and it's party time.
We're back. Let's finish this thing up.
All right, so we're going to start here with first question on Instagram. We'll get to the chat questions here as well, and we've got a few there. So first from Dino, actually, who was just on the phone. He says that he's got a motocross question. Is Stewart going to retire? Does Reed still have wins left in him? Do you think Roxon will come back strong enough to beat Tomac? Is Marvin now the consistent man to win the title? And outdoors is boring. So we're going to just get real quick.
So we have to
into
go
this.
through the whole 20-rider list of who races Supercross.
We're not motocross experts. We all watch it. We all like it. So you start.
Speak for yourself. I don't. You guys go ahead and belt this one out because I don't know anything about it.
Okay, you go.
I don't even start on the list. Is Tomac going to win?
Is Stewart going to retire?
No, he's going to hang on forever.
Okay.
But he might not race, but he's going to just say that he's still there.
Okay.
That sounds like my career.
Does Reed still have wins left in him?
What do you think? Come on, this is an Australian guy. Yeah. Reed will never leave.
I do have it about Reed. He's still got it.
Ah, he's still got it.
Reed's like me. We're both way over 30. We should have probably quit a couple years ago, but we're stuck in the game.
Okay. Will Roxon come back strong enough to beat Tomac?
Roxon is going to come back. Will he come back enough to beat Tomac?
No
I think that's going to be. I don't know if that's going to be possible. I think he's going to come back and he's going to have another big get off.
Is Marvin the consistent man to win the title now? Not with Tony Mac
fast
there.
around the track.
Not with Tommy there.
I wish I had that drop.
But
You do have to be fast around the track.
you do have to be faster on the track. That is what they say.
All right. David's got one there about Judy Bow. We already got to that. And moving down. All right. So important question. Now that Dungey is gone, who takes the KTM seat? Well, I think Marvin's taken that, but who takes the next one? Like, we're not a motocross podcast. If you want to listen to one, there's one called Pulp MX. It's on Monday night.
They actually do it. Yeah, when
they do it really well. So that's our answer on that. I think Marvin's going to take that. All right, so we got one here from a little fella, 8 years old, Zane. He rides flats, and he saved enough money to get clip pedals and shoes, but Mum says not yet. How old were we when we got clips?
13.
I think it's 9.
I
jumped straight into it.
Donovan said Nick.
Big Don said
Nick.
We're doing full laps.
Novice
doing
Nick.
it with clips.
Novice Nick. We're doing full laps clipped in.
I'm pretty sure it was 6 weeks on flat pedals, and all I was doing was no footers and flinging my shoes off, and then Pops put me on clips.
Word.
Well, I learned that if you want to go fast, you have to clip in. So I came on quick, but I didn't start till I was about 13.
Oh, so I was earlier, 7, 8.
I think it's hard these days with like kids that are racing expert because they're not going to be competitive on flat pedals, so it's disappointing for them to race. So I think there's no issue getting clips because it's the way the sport's going, but don't be afraid to still train on your flats because you can learn a lot by riding flats.
You have to.
You need a ride. You need, whether it be the pump tracks at any of the Tyler's track, anywhere, dirt jumps at your cousin's house or whatever it is. Just learn to bunny hop. Like, a lot of people don't even know how to bunny hop. My little sister couldn't bunny hop up a curb if I needed her to, on flats.
Yeah.
But clipped in.
On clipped in, she could definitely do a clip pull up and
do
get
the
right over the thing.
Rock the cradle.
No,
like
she'll run the front
back
wheel into the curb, pull up with the back wheel. She'll get it over. But it's just something. Those are just the fundamentals that you have to learn, and a lot of kids I think are missing out on that.
Yeah,
sure.
I would agree with that one. So kids at home, you can race clipped in if you want, but ride your flats too.
Train with flats, race with clips. There you go. All right, so the next one: disc brakes or V brakes?
Disc brakes are stupid, man. They're a straight up gimmick.
Yeah.
For
BMX they are.
BMX.
I don't want V brakes on my F-150 driving down the highway. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm gonna tell you, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I've been doing this a long time, about as long as you guys. I've never crossed the finish line and went, man, I wish I could have stopped faster on that
I
lap.
ran out of brakes in 2.
Dang, I would have won if I would have been able to pull my brakes harder.
Okay, so
right.
I'm at a transition right this second currently because
Nick's getting a disc brake.
I am currently.
What?
Listen. Same with you. I never came across a line and like, damn it, I wish I had some fucking better brakes on that lap. It was never like that.
Nick's so fast in practice he needs to slow down more in racing. He's getting a disc brake.
But I'm at this point now where my damn back blows out on me every month or so. I gotta.
So
I'm thinking. No, I'm gonna go to the double XL Haro frame instead of my long frame, but I'm getting custom dropouts made, which instead of my dropouts being at 17.2, we're moving it to about 16.
Sounds kind of made up.
So I can't use the V brake mounts.
Oh, so what? Just go disc.
I have to, or no brakes.
Like his disc is blown out, so he's getting
my
a disc.
Is blown. Yeah, it won't work on the mount. I'm getting custom dropouts.
He's losing a disc here, so he's going to
I got to gain a real
on his
disc.
bike.
Okay,
science.
So it's a
high science.
I'm not a big fan, but it's something that I feel like I have to give it a try.
Okay,
right.
Body's sake.
Yeah,
I don't like the look. It looks terrible. But
that's fine, Nick. That's fine. That's fine.
Hey, you know what? You do you.
What kind of brakes you got on this whore?
This thing's got some. I don't know.
They work, huh?
Scissors. All right, next one from Thunder Midget, Randy Stumphauser.
Low key, that's his undercover one.
We kind of touched on this a bit with the interview of Anthony, but we'll ask it again. With the addition of Maris to Supercross with Anthony Dean, does this make them a force to give the chase duo Fields and Duday a little run for their money?
We got carbon on carbon. It's going to be a carbon battle.
You know what Dick Fitzwell said?
What?
Maris is not fucking around anymore. He's on a carbon bike.
Man, it almost sounded like you guys were the same person for a second.
Hell of a mimic.
That is good.
I'm good at impersonating.
That is good. Yeah, I would say those boys. I think it's the only really pro team that could do something against those two.
Did you say protein?
Protein.
Protein.
Yeah, protein. Pro team. You know,
Okay.
tomato.
Okay. All right. right, moving down. All right, yes, Fitzwell is on the mic. All right, another question from Anthony Dean.
He's a big fan, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
What is your guys' take on the way BMX has gone as far as sponsorship being locked into a team and unable to get any personal sponsors for yourself? Is this hurting riders / BMX?
Well, I actually started my own team so I could pick my own sponsors, so no big deal here.
Yeah, I think the days of factory red line and that's all you wear, or like GT and that's all you wear, they're kind of gone because of the way the industry's gone. It's just kind of everything's low right now, so people need to search, and I felt that transition. I think when I did my last contract with Redline, even that was when they let me do the Troy Lee deal, which was something Redline had never done, because they were just like, we can't. What you're asking for, we want to keep you, but we can't pay you that, so we'll let you go and look for money elsewhere, and that's kind of the way it's going now.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I'd say Chase is like the last team that they're locked into all their deals.
Yeah, and that's just because they don't have the budgets anymore. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think we could do a whole big industry talk. That maybe that's something we're gonna have to touch on next time, because it's been a hot topic about the industry and stuff like that. But I mean, there's definitely a lot that we could talk about with the state of the industry and where it's at and why things are going the way they're going. But I think what you're able to do is you're able to as a rider to go to like 5 companies and get smaller amounts rather than one company and get one big amount.
That's right.
You know, you're seeing like Anthony kind of doing his thing. You mentioned yours with Redline. Elise is doing hers with GW. Yeah, I mean, they're like you kind of set up your own deals with Haro and some of your co-sponsors and stuff like that, right? So Nick's got a bunch of. Well, you got a handful. You're not Haro locked in. No. You know what I mean? So you definitely have a few, and I think that's kind of what we have to go to. And pros have to be a little bit smarter and kind of think outside the box and see what they can do to kind of hustle some other stuff, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
So this guy asked here, like, kind of how do sponsorships work? Do you get free flights, rooms, per diems, race entries? You guys talk on how pro deals work now. I'm going to look for, we had a big question from Jason
some sponsors, you know, I have sponsors that will pay for, you know, flights and entries, and then another one will pay for hotels and rental car or something like that, where you don't. It's hard to find something where it's going to do everything from one person.
I think kind of the two main deals, the way it works is like they're either going to come in and they're going to say, okay, we're going to book your flights and your hotels and pay your entry fees, or they're going to say, we're going to give you X amount of dollars per month, and it's up to you how you want to do it. So that's kind of the way how sponsorships works. Is either goes one way where they just kind of pay your expenses and you have a budget set through them, or they just give you cash and you kind of do what you want, which both are good in their own way, because one way you get everything taken care of, which is nice. The other one, if you want to live on a budget and pack 12 dudes in a room, which you can do it that way too.
Both ways. It just depends on how you want to run it.
Yeah, so that's kind of the sponsorship question.
We had a big question from Jason Carnes, which I'm struggling to find.
Oh, he did have a big one. Maybe that was on Facebook, maybe.
No, there's one on Instagram. We're going to keep searching for that. Keep talking, lads.
Yeah, keep talking on that. Somebody keeps talking about some crazy stuff.
Jump on the chat line.
Yeah, jump on the chat. We want to hear from you guys. Share the video. We need to get it. We need to get it up, guys. Make sure to do that. Nick, when's your next race back?
I was really hoping to do Salt Lake, just because it's been a favorite of mine since I was a little kid. That was, one of the first couple of nationals I ever did in the ABA series. But I don't think I'll be there, or I could go there and just not be up to par.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I just started scheduling out my situation, and I want to do South Park, but I'll fly to Charlotte that week, drive up to South Park, race, and then drive back down and train at Rock Hill for like the next 3 or 4 days.
Okay.
So I'm trying to plan that with like Jeff and Posey, and just have I want to get some track time in on Rock Hill. The Worlds are there, and I also want to get at least one race in under the belt before Worlds time.
Let's see. Here we got some more questions coming in. What country has the nicest track?
The nicest tracks.
I think they kind of have different things. Like Australia, I think has more like horsepower. Europe has more technical stuff. USA is kind of just about running races after races.
I would go on record to say San Diego has the nicest tracks. I think that Rio track, Beijing, and then your track, that's a pretty good setup. In one location.
I won't argue with that.
As a combination of in this, within 100 yards of each other, we have a solid amount of tracks. Really hard Rio track. Beijing is more of developmental, and then our ABA track at our USA BMX track, Tyler's, is always spot on, and we always got solid pro nights there. So
Yeah.
Yeah, can't go wrong with that.
Bryce Betts asks, has anyone ever got 5th place contingency?
yeah, Denzel used to on Redline. I remember that.
My first Redline contract paid 1 to 8.
316 Racing paid our Cruiser Paul $5 for his 5th place in New
Cruiser
Mexico.
Paul, $5.
Cruiser Paul got his $5 for his 5th place.
Oh yeah.
So we have a little contingency every now and then. He had to restructure his deal when we got to New Mexico. So Sunday he got a solid 5th in the Cruiser class. So we earned him $5 for that one.
That's good for Cruiser Paul.
Yeah, Cruiser Paul's
Cruiser
killing
Paul.
it.
Yeah.
Cruiser Vegas Paul.
That'll get him a natural light can or something.
Yeah, you-
you
so,
probably get a 40 with that. 240s.
Yeah, you get 240s from 7-Elevens. All right, so we found the question from Jason Carnes. He had a big question here. What do you think of the pros complain about the decrease in payout but choose to let it go on as the new normal and then don't show up to the races when the likes of Duke City BMX in New Mexico throws a lot of money in the pot, which was last weekend? Does the sanctions like it when tracks throw it in, not throw it in, but throw in a lot of money at their pro-ams and are actually paying out sort of more than the nationals? He loves the pros, but in his opinion, 2nd and 3rd tier guys need to learn to chase the dollars better. A lot of riders stayed home last year when USA BMX paid out the big bucks to those Supercross riders and now at those Supercross races, and now it's gone. It'll be interesting to see if Albuquerque goes out of their way to do what they did again. And
I need to break this down.
That was
questions.
Okay, so I think here's what he's saying. He's saying, like, take the Olympics last year. There was obviously your handful of guys that were going to make the Olympics, right? And your guys were killing it. But then you had these big premier races like the Supercross races where as an elite man, you could make $14,000 in a weekend. And you're barely getting quarters.
Yeah.
The women had 9. And I think what he's saying is like, hey, the Olympic carrot's rad and all, but you had a premier series where you could make some serious cash and nobody showed up. And then now it's not on the table because USA BMX went, well, not enough people signed up, so we're not going to do it. I think the pro payout's like a whole nother subject that I definitely wouldn't mind touching on at one point. But he does make a good point that at the beginning of the year, the payout was set and nobody said anything. Everybody got in the gate.
Yeah. Plenty was said, nothing happened. Nobody did anything.
Nobody
myself included.
And I think that's what it is.
Well, I mean,
there was grumblings on social media, but nobody really did anything.
There was also talk about, I don't even know who told me, but if the pros did what we did in Nashville that year, they were just going to shut us down entirely. Which, what are they going to? They're not going to lose anything off their back. And we're just going to miss out on the $1,000 that we would have won. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say who was right and who was going to, come out of that whole weekend in Phoenix looking like an asshole.
Fair enough. Sam's working on that sound bite. We're really excited about this one. And it didn't work. What a bummer.
No, I mean, my opinion is that I think 11 weekends, say in USA BMX roughly each year, and then you add 4 weekends of World Cups or World Championships, so that's 16 weekends. I don't see why everyone can't race all of that. There's 52 weeks in a year and 16 of them are racing. Like, that's your job. I don't see how people complain that they can't show up to these races, and that's the problem. There was $20,000 on the line each day at some of those races last year, and people weren't showing up. And to be honest, half of the people that weren't showing up were girls that were complaining about equal pay, and it's like, you got a $10,000 purse 2 days in a row. Like, where are you?
Yeah. Well, and then it just goes kind of back to some of the issues that's wrong with BMX. Period. It's supporting the races. Here we go. There you go. It's pretty funny.
Mark Post there.
So support the races, whether you're a 10-year-old expert at your local track or a place like New Mexico finds an extra $3,000 to throw in the purse and 9 people show up. You know what I mean? So get out there and race, whatever you're doing. I think that's kind of Jason's thing.
Yeah.
Jason's like, hey, you got to go where the money is sometimes. If you're going to complain where there is no money and then people do put money out there, you got to go where the money is.
And in saying that,
I'd have been there.
You were there.
But my back's broken.
It's spinal.
I broke my back.
Spinal.
In saying that, there is someone, I think it was Brandon Arnold, sent a message in. There's a big payout up in Vancouver.
Yeah, Canada. Next weekend.
Yeah.
Next weekend. It's like $10,000 or something.
It's $16,000 for the weekend.
$16,000 for the weekend.
8 a day. But then, I mean, that's an issue because those guys clearly shouldn't have competed with a national weekend.
But what I find funny is all the ones that miss these races that are paying big money, they're not and then they won't go to say that race in Canada that's paying big money. They'll go to the national, but they're not chasing a title. So it's like, what are they chasing?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think they should. Not to be
Like,
the second tier guys should go to the
Yeah.
big money races, or
Yeah,
like the money
I would
that's
agree.
being put out, like this Albuquerque race, and then the people chasing the titles go to Nashville.
Ideally, in a perfect world, they could have put it the next weekend, so everybody
Yeah,
could
you
have went to
could have,
national
so
and should have
everybody.
finished right there.
But it's not like we're gaining, or not weird, because I'm not doing Nashville, but nobody's gaining any money no matter how many riders show up to Nashville.
We have a
So at this point,
soundbite.
this year, I'm saying, those second tier guys, the guys who don't really have the sponsors, they're paying their own way to go to the races. You're paying your way to go to the race. Go to the race that is actually
pays the
paying.
most, yeah.
I agree.
They're gonna at least make more than $1,000 for the win.
Yep.
Nick,
That's
he
the
is
max
so
you can
excited
win
to
in
play this
Nashville.
soundbite. Can you just let
But,
him?
I mean, I get like
I don't know what he's going
Joris
for.
and Connor and all those guys, and even you, like, you have sponsors that you have to represent here in the US. But and those guys are chasing titles. I mean, Nick's chasing a title come South Park, and so they have to go to these races. And this is we had a special guest, Ivo Lakuch, call in.
Yeah, I'm taking home and he's moving back to Latvia to train for Olympics.
So that's why Maris doesn't go to some of the races.
Because Evo took him back to train for the Olympics.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's
Okay.
fair enough.
That's what Kurt calls me for too.
Well, on Evil Evo's note, should we
think-
wrap up this show?
I think as Dick Fitzwell says, let's wrap it up.
All right.
Let's
Well,
not wrap it up.
well, guys, we had a heck of a first show. We appreciate you guys all being here. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully you liked the video. Maybe we'll see you next week. You got anything to say?
Yeah, we'll be back next week, 6 p.m. Monday night. Join in again and send us your questions. Cafe Willoughby Twitter, either of our Instagrams or Facebooks or whatever, MySpace.
There's
whatever.
about 47 ways. Yeah, get in Sam's top
Let's
8
do
on his
snail mail
MySpace.
only. We want real
And we'll
mail.
take letters.
Or don't worry, we'll post Sam's home address on the page so you can send some mail directly to Cafe Willoughby. Nick, anything you want to say before we leave?
I'll be here when you want me here. So if you get questions about me, they'll call me up and I'll be here.
Nick will be back. We'll be celebrating Nick's wins come South Park. And
I'm gonna be here live. No shirt,
no
whatever
shirt.
you want me.
Okay, and remember.
Off to the bathroom, work one out anytime you can, and when you get really good at it, you'll fucking be stroking it and you'll be thinking about money.
That's right.
You heard it first.
All right. Thanks, guys. Signing out.
All right, guys, we'll see you next Monday. Later. No way, man. I think this
I
thing
think it's
sucks.
the air too. The air doesn't last quite as long as the bigger one.
What'd you say, babe? Oh, I thought you said something.
Yeah, that's
All right, well I gotta head home and cook dinner.
Oh,
Woo!